Swing for the Fences, Brandi, this is a huge song and a moment for you to really stretch out into what you do, which is write songs, beautiful, brilliant, heartfelt songs, more often than not as saying something that matters to you and therefore matters to people. You're an unafraid writer. I've said that to you before. When it comes to making music, fear does not play a role. And I really admire that about you. A tough song to write, probably a hard song to listen to, because even when you wrote it, things are fucking worse.
Yeah.
So the song is changing shape in real time.
Yeah. Well, I think that the way it sits in the sequence, which was an accident, is serendipitous in its own way, because you got songs about Laura Nyro and Little Richard, who are sort of our queer predecessors, right? They sort of came before Elton and I in many ways, and weren't allowed really, I think, to fully walk through the world unabashedly as gay people. And then we've got this song that's kind of an anthem of encouragement to LGBTQ youth. I think it's a really interesting way to follow up the lives of those two icons that influenced us so much, but I think who deep down we wish could have walked through the world the way that we are getting to walk through the world now.
First through the wall, bloodied and bruised.
Yeah, so I love that we were able to take that encouragement, and hopefully it can aggregate. Hopefully it can help those marginalized kids and those young people right now, and they can look to me and Elton and they can go, yeah, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. Because we got their back.
It's positive. It's not a slow song.
Positive,
it's not a miserable song.
right?
It's like, again, electricity is flowing through that song.
It's like, be unafraid.
And I like using the sports analogies because, like Freddie Mercury did, because there's they really turn that trope on itself and say, swing for the fences, It's really cool to get to own those analogies.
Well, we allow everybody to be whoever they want to be for the most part in that environment, in athletics and in sports where you're rooting for a team. It's like, well, it's more important to me that the team wins than what your personal preferences of how you live your life. It's really interesting how we give everyone a pass there.
Right.
Yet when it comes to the arts or living your life outside of that, it's like, oh, no, you're not doing it the way I want you to do it, or I think is the right way to do it.
Right. But it's that same instinct of camaraderie, and we're only forced to compete with each other. If we really look at it at the end of the day, we do want each other to succeed. And look at Elton and the way that he cultivates these relationships with young people. And by the way, he always gets a lot of, he's known for finding young artists and calling them, encouraging them, but he doesn't just do that. He's also honest, He also says, but I think your best work is ahead of you.
Has that come at a price for you to some degree, personally, away from all of what you stand for is so important to all of us and to the world, and it will go down in history as being a part of who you are and the spirit of the man.
It's essential to who I am. It's vital to who I am. I cannot live without new music. I cannot live without it.
And what about the honesty it's taken to be able to plant your flag in the ground and help others on such a huge global level?
And it's so funny, that everyone's saying, things don't happen so quickly for people like Ray and Olivia Dean. And look, Sabrina Carpenter, this is her 6th record. The Chapel Roan was dropped by Atlantic Records. It's taken them 5 or 6
Charlie
years.
X,
but it
10
stood
years
them in
on.
the greatest stead because they're ready.
Yeah, that's right.
And like I was playing with Boozology for years, and then backing Patti LaBelle and Major Lance and Billy Stewart. And when I came to the Troubadour, I was ready.
You're right.
I was totally ready. I saw Chapel Roan in London. I was blown away. She's ready. Well, it's like, because all the heartbreak and all the disappointments, they make you stronger. And I would try to relay that to people. I said, don't get too frustrated if the first couple of... Lowly Young is a prime example. This record is a monster record. It's a fantastic record. She's been going since I played her first track in 1920. 1920. She's really old, In fact...
She looks great.
Her name should be Lola. Her name should be Lola Old.
I think this is the moment when you just basically finally revealed who you are, which is you're a f***ing vampire. Lola's a vampire. There's a few of us walking this earth, right?
I said she should be called Lola Old. But it's so great to see these people who are so talented. Persevere. Don't happen too quickly. Have the disappointments. It makes you stronger. It gives you backbone. But I'm always there. I say, listen, Humble the Great, call me up, do this, do that. But you're doing really great. It's going so well.
You did it for me when I made an album. You called me in Liverpool and told me, I love your album, don't stop. Haven't made a record since, but I loved the advice at the time. Never too late.
I would send him a ballad and he'd write back and say, I love it when you rock. Like he wouldn't say that's but he would say, I love it. Well, you know what I mean? But
this is his way.
He's
anyone
very
can write
special.
a ballad. We could both write ballads coming out with our bums, but rocking is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to write a great rock song.